Hi, YouTube. How are you guys doing? I know definitely the past couple of months have been really freaking hectic, and definitely so have the past couple of weeks. It's been very exhausting and hard. It's been a roller coaster. It really has. So I hope that you all have been practicing your self-care. We need you in the fight for real change to happen. So I appreciate everybody who's out on the street. They're protesting, they're calling, politicians' offices, they're, making and signing petitions, circulating information. All of this is very much needed. But still, in that same sentence, we need you guys to practice self care because if you're not resting, eating properly, taking a mental break so that you're not so overwhelmed, then you're no good to the cause. You need to take that break. It's not being selfish. Do not think that at all, that if you take a second to yourself, that it's being selfish. That is not it at all. You need to definitely take care of yourself because all of this, it is very mentally draining and exhausting. So that self-care is very much needed. So what I kind of want to talk about in this video is kind of piggybacking off the last video that I made. The last video that I made, it was kind of rushed. Like I stated in that video, it was really made to be a video I wanted to make for Instagram, just a kind of quick rant, but it ended up going a little bit longer than that. So definitely longer than Instagram allows, and it was more than I needed to get out, and I needed more than 10 minutes. So today I wanted to kind of go on the topic of me being the token Black friend in my friendships, in all my friendship circles, kind of growing up. I have been that token Black friend. So that's why in the last video, I was kind of hurt and outraged by all of the silence coming from a lot of not just people, in my personal life, but even some of my, the celebrities that I look up to or admire. Just their silence or the bare minimum where all they did was put up a black square and hashtagged Blackout Tuesday, and that was it. That is as far as it was going to get. Yay, activism. That's as far as it got. And it's just like, I kind of need a little bit more, we all do. In order for real change to happen, we need everybody to speak up. We need all hands on deck. And it needs to be more than the minimum, and it needs to be more than you just thinking to yourself, well, I'm not racist. We need voices and we need action. I just kind of wanted to take a moment because, like I stated, in pretty much all of my life, I have been that token Black friend. And as I stated in that video, I can no longer allow a lot of the stuff that younger Asia used to allow. Letting those little microaggressions and kind of stereotypes that are called out, I cannot let that slide anymore. I'm actually kind of ashamed that throughout my adolescence and young adulthood, of all the stuff that I did let slide. And it could be, as a young kid, it's that, you don't really see it as something that could be problematic. But as I got older, I feel like I should have known better. To not call out things when they're this small and letting it get to this big. I'll give you an example. Growing up in high school, I had a good friend. And by the time we graduated, we were cool, but we weren't really close because, I had graduated, she dropped out. She was in a younger class than me anyways. So, of course, I'm focused on trying to get into college and, things like that. And throughout our friendship, I had let a lot of stuff that she would say here and there slide. And I would think to myself, because, I'm young, I'm a teenager, I'm thinking like, well, there's no way she can be racist because she's my best friend and I'm her best friend. So that can't happen, right? And it got to a point where it got big was at a certain point all I told her was to keep out of the relationship I was having at the time. It was none of her business. It wasn't that me and the guy were on, rough terms or anything like that. I just felt like she was just the type of person where if she knew your business, she would weasel her way into it and make a big thing out of it and then walk away. She was one of those people. So I said, I like this guy. I don't want her to infiltrate our relationship and make up rumors and then start things. So I said, don't worry about a relationship. Just kind of stay out of it. And then she got super defensive and we're not face to face by this point. We're arguing online. We're arguing on instant messenger, AIM, that lets you know how old I am. And we're going back and forth. And at a certain point, she goes, see, the reason why I dropped out of school was because of niggers like you. And it was like, whoa. I feel like for anybody to say something like that with such ease, that is something that either or, something that is in your normal everyday conversation, but just wasn't spoken around me, and or B, or two, whatever one I said, that is something that has been sitting on the tip of your tongue for a while and you've been itching to say it until you finally did. And so it was things like that in my life where I had to be like, whoa, I can't allow that to happen. And still then, through my young adulthood and 30s, I still allow things to kind of slip through. Your friends who you don't want to dictate who other people are friends with. But at the same token, it's like you can't be friends with me and also be friends with someone else who has skinhead type, ideologies. Like that doesn't mix at all. It's not like, well, I think they're funny. No, there's no way you can come hang out with me and be a black person. We have a great time. And then the next day you're hanging out with somebody who is a white supremacist. Like things like that I have let slide. And I'm now putting my foot down. And I can't accept it anymore. From the smallest instance, if you're just silent through all of this. I have a friend that I have known since 8th grade. I just deleted her on Facebook because she's one of those people in my life where she's always cracking jokes like, oh, okay, laugh with the whole, like, oh, white people can't cook and things like that. And she's like, oh, I don't know if I'm white, things like that, where she's like, haha, that's funny. And this whole time she's been silent. It's just like that, and in this area she's went to the like blackest high school ever. And you have a lot of friends who are black and then you're silent. Like you're not saying anything. Nothing. And like everybody's been saying over and over since all this has started, it's not enough for you to just not be racist. You need to be actively anti-racist. And it goes into things where even though these people are my friends or my, associates, it's because since we're cool, I don't think that they realize the level of fear that sometimes it goes into being black. I have a friend who lives in a very, very white neighborhood. There are times when I would go visit her before Miss Rona showed up and fucked up the whole show, that I would go visit her. You have to realize the fear of going from the city area all the way to the country. And once you hit a certain point in your travel of constantly checking rear view, checking mirrors, behind you are the cops. Is there some white guy behind me with a Confederate bumper sticker? You're constantly doing this. I'm constantly checking over my shoulder because who knows what could happen? And it's like, other than her, I don't know anybody out in this area. That things like that, like you don't know that level of fear of being out in this area. There was an instance where I was driving with a friend after a night out, black. We get pulled over. And the cop asked him to get out of the car. I don't think my white friends realize the level of fear that goes into something like that. I was scared to death that I was going to watch somebody that I cared about die in front of my face. That's scary. Everybody is, bothered or worried once they get pulled over, but I'm pretty sure it's never to you a fear of life or death. It's to you of like, well, fuck, how much is this ticket gonna be? Or is this gonna go on my record? No, our fear is whether we're gonna be able to get back in the car or not. Are we gonna make it through the night? I need my white friends to realize the fear of, I've made videos, I've written about the miscarriage that I had recently. October of 2018, I miscarried. And that level of fear of knowing that Black women die at a higher rate during childbirth. And since that was my first pregnancy overall, does it carry over into miscarriages? Is there something that they're missing? Is there any type of bleeding that I'm unaware of? That level of fear where it's like, not only am I grieving the loss of this baby, but I'm also grieving, am I being told the right information? Did I actually miscarry? Because I don't feel all of the symptoms that I've heard, women speak about when they do miscarry. So that there's that fear of that. There's also the fear of, still medically speaking, once that happened, I was told that I was high risk for cervical cancer. So we're going to have to do what's called a LEAP procedure and scoop out a little bit of your cervix. And this was April of last year. And it still haunts me. And I think, should I have asked for a second opinion? Because of the history that the medical field has with Black women, I think to myself sometimes, was that something that was actually necessary for me to do? Is that something that in the future is going to keep me from having kids? That's the fear that I have to deal with as a Black person, is that I have to be skeptical of everything, especially when it comes to my health and my life. That's why I can't be that token Black person anymore, and I can't stand for the silence anymore. Is because it's more than just police brutality. It's more than that. It's me maybe being pregnant, getting ready to give birth, and something happens. And if I'm telling the doctor this is what I'm feeling, they're just like, no, you're fine. And then they'll end up dying on the table. Hell, it almost happened to Serena Williams. With all the money and the credibility and the talent that she has, even she has to beg and plead with people like, please do not let me die on this table. So that's what I need my white friends to understand. That I can't be your Google anymore. I can't educate you on right from wrong. I can't educate you on how to be anti-racist. That's up to you. I can't do that for you anymore. I need you to have my back in every way possible, the same way that I have yours. I need you to stand up and I need you to speak out. And I also need you to realize that once I try to correct you on that, that is coming from a place of love. Because a lot of these people, I don't want to cut you out of my life. Especially when all it comes down to is just, I need you to see the big picture. I don't need you to just see me as your friend and that's it. I need you to see my future husband, my future child, my mother, my cousins. I need you to see the big picture. I need you to see it for everyone who looks like me. I don't want my son to be the next Tamir Rice. I don't want that to happen. I want our kids to be able to grow up together and have the friendship that we had, but better. Because I want them to come up with that mindset of that they fight for each other, that they have each other's back. So it's just that I'm taking a stand. I'm taking a stand on that. I can't let the little things slip through. That won't go anymore. That's going to be it for me today. I hope you guys continue to practice self-care. I hope you continue to speak up. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. In this world today, it is very, very, very much needed. All right, guys. Till next time.